And hello, friends, family, pain family, regular followers, new people. My friend Edie Jones is a member of Kratom, Oklahoma. She'll be sharing this there. I'll give you this. I'm starting the video with Kratom versus cannabinoids and why I'm more for one than the other. But I'm okay with Kratom. In fact, Edie, you can use the pain group. Since kratom, I think it's actually pronounced kratom, is you can do since it's a painkiller. My pain group is open. This cannabis education and Rick's medical marijuana group is strictly for medical marijuana and the pain and diseases that medical marijuana covers. Now, those who don't know me, I go by Rick Huffman. This is my YouTube channel. Subscribe for updates, and I have at least 130 videos already finished. Get a real number here. Yes, this is 131. Number 131. Now, stay with me, please. My videos can run anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on how much information I've got to put out. First thing I'm going to do is take 10 inches. I can get it right there. This thing's bigger than my tablet. But I don't burn my eyebrows anymore. Those little pipes, crackle, singe. So, yes, I'm a legal medical marijuana smoker in Arizona. So you'll see me smoking on air, and you'll see me doing other things, like tinctures. Say hello to my little friend. This is just a bottle of another tincture. This is my own homemade. I take 10 milligrams out of the dropper, about a third of a dropper. First, though, just takes a few seconds under the tongue. What that is, this is my tincture. It's alcohol based. Ta-da! This is what you want to use when you make cannabis concentrates. Simple. You put a 1/4 ounce of bud to every 2 cups of grain alcohol. You can also use like 150, Bacardi 151, anything that's 120 proof or over is best for pulling all the, see that's how green it is? It's called Green Dragon. Green Dragon tincture. Rick's homemade. All I have to do is put the buds in there and the alcohol. I keep it in a cool, dark place, and I shake it once a day. And after 2 weeks, I can start harvesting. I fill up bottles. I've got 3 of these full right now. And this one I'm finishing. And the reason the Everclear, if anybody's ever had Everclear, that's why I took a drink of tea first. Because that alcohol burns. I tried 1 dropper full without anything else to drink. You know, just put it under my tongue and try to hold it there. No. It's like trying to lick a hot match, and it won't go out. It's like your tongue's coated with gasoline and set it on fire. That's what Everclear is like. It's straight grain alcohol. It's basically moonshine. It's almost 100% ethyl alcohol, and that's where it draws out the THC. And with 10 milligrams, it's not even a shot. I mean, this is 40 milligrams. This is for my Jim Beam. I suffer from extreme chronic intractable pain. I've introduced myself. I'm already going everywhere. Sorry. But I'm in a fibromyalgia flare, or a fibro flare. Flare for short. before I go on talking about kratom and cannabis and everything, because I'm just getting right into my show and tell, but it's because I'm in this fibro flare. It's a flare up of my symptoms. And what I have is fibromyalgia, which is chronic muscular pain everywhere. I'm talking face muscles. Then I've got osteoarthritis, chronic pain syndrome, chronic regional pain simplex. Where are we? Fibro, CPS, CRPS, osteoarthritis, degenerative disc disease. And that degenerative disc disease gives rise to chronic spondylosis, where discs move around and press on your spinal cord, and spinal stenosis, where the nerves come out of your vertebrae. I've got 20, all occluded with bone growth. Since January 15th, this is, what the hell's today? March 15th. So, January to February to March. 2 months now, I've been in this flare. And it started with, I had a big blowout here. My neck was like, I don't know, maybe from here it was out to here, if you can see that. It was like a ½ inch. And what it was it's my discs. My bad discs are all up here and in lower back, and they're shot. Okay, my discs are either hard as rocks or porous, and they're letting bone grate on bone, and they're pressing on my spinal cord and other parts of my body. And right now, I have a numb tingling that has been since January 15th. It's a numb tingle like your foot is waking up, and it's itchy, painful, that kind of tingle. Well, you get over it. I don't. It's been, right here is numb. The bottom half of my arm is numb to the touch. I can't feel, this feels dull, and I got sharp nails. Up here, I feel it. Up here, all the way up my neck, under my boob, my man boob, and here is all numb on the surface of my skin. It feels like Novocaine from the dentist. Okay, only it's everywhere in this area, this whole quadrant. That's what spinal stenosis and spondylosis does. Now, this is an itch that you just can't scratch. I mean, what takes care of itching? You can't put the cortisone under your skin, and it doesn't do anything on top of your skin. It's not that kind of itch. It's an itch that you can't scratch. And that's fibromyalgia and everything else I've got. With PTSD added to the top, that's the cherry on top of my shit sundae. So, I take pills in conjunction with my cannabis. I'm on 240 milligrams a day of morphine sulfate. Cannabis as much as I can have, as much as I can buy and smoke. Or a stick. I can even stick this on my wrist. It's a 2-inch by 2-inch pad. This is THC. And you put it on like the inside of your wrist or even your ankle. It stays there for 12 hours. And once you peel it off, you've activated it. But you wear it for 12 solid hours. I wear it when I have to go to town. I'll put it on first thing in the morning. If I'm going to be out on the town until 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to put my patch on at 9 in the morning. See, I got to plan ahead. I don't drive anymore because of my back and the fact that I take opiates and pot. And I have the alcohol too. My doctor's I'll tell him about it. I've just started doing this, but I'll tell him I'm making it, and he'll be okay with a little bit of alcohol. Because he trusts me. Why? I was honest. I told my doctor exactly what my drug history was. Are you waiting to go out, Pena? Pena? Yes, he wants to go out. Hold on. And we're back. Sorry. The dog never... I could sit here all day, not say a word, watching TV. She won't go pee or poop until after MMY comes home. But when I'm talking to you guys and shooting my videos, she always wants to go out. Sometimes twice during the shoot. But you guys get it. It's instantaneous, whatever happens. I'm going over kratom and cannabis, and I'm using myself as a guinea pig. I've been experimenting with myself, keeping track of the kind of strains I smoke, what they do to me, as opposed to what Leafly and other sites say it should do. Because my pains are so vast, I can no longer drive. I can't walk to my mailbox. It's a quarter mile away anyway. That's a half-mile round trip. I can't walk halfway to my mailbox. I have to stop and then come home after a rest. I literally can't walk over 100 yards. And it sucks. I used to be a runner, special ops in the Army. Well, that's what ruined my body. A lot of jumping, some accidents, concussions, crushed bones, dislocations. Like, I can't sleep on my left side because this shoulder will pop out of joint. I can't even use it when I'm shaving in the shower. I can only use my right arm. So I'm always sleeping on my right side in a semi-fetal. Been that way for 10 years. It's the only way I can not move around because I'm held in one place with a big, deep pillow bed. Because if I move around in my sleep, I'll wake up totally paralyzed. Sometimes I can't even feel my feet. I just can't move, and all I feel is intense pain somewhere in my neck. My vertebrae and discs in here, especially in the cervical area, have just been the pits. And it makes my pain very, very vast. My doctor has seen me at 1010. He knows what my 1010 pain feels like. Trust me, you can see it in my eyes. I've sat here on my videos, some of my videos, I've started straight, and I took a morphine. And then 30 minutes into the video, I'm saying, did it do anything? No. I actually forgot my morphine yesterday. I woke up, still in this flare, feeling bad, hips hurting. I just wanted to lay down, so I brought my pillow and everything out here, put on the TV, laid down, slept all day. I'd get up for like a half an hour every 4 hours, go out, have a cigarette, come back in, boom, I'm tired. I had to lay down again. And because I didn't put my hearing aid in, my hearing aid box is sitting on top of my pill box, and I didn't look at it. So I missed my morphine for 8 solid hours. Now, I've been at 240 milligrams for 2 years. Before that, I was on 210 milligrams every day. So that should tell you what I am saying and is sooth. And there was a post that I shared on my groups that actually said this, is that marijuana attenuates the symptom of opiates. Whether it's just the use of the opiates, like I forget. Okay, because the cannabis has kept me from getting a monkey on my back. And I've talked in other videos where before I got my morphine and cannabis, where I am today, 5 years ago, and 5.5, I was on OxyContin and psych meds. I had a problem, boom, hydrocephaly, had to go to the hospital. So the doctor and I went to morphine and pop. Both of us hoped that we would take less morphine. Alas, I've actually had to ask for an increase in my morphine after 3 years, which the doctor gave me an extra pill. and I promised not to ask for another 3 years. And the cannabis has been helping keep me going. This is cannabis. $10 for 3 tea bags. Gallon size. So 3 gallons of tea for just the cost of sugar. And I have it almost always have a glass of pot tea sitting there, along with my sodas and fruit waters that I drink. But I think I've introduced myself enough. If you can take this down, it's Rick's, no punctuation, no apostrophes, Rick's Pain Blog .simdiff, SIMDIM, DIF, simdiff.com. It stands for Simply Different. And I've got a website there with 7 pages, tells you all about me. What all my diseases, my medications. I'm on a 60 and a 30 morphine. A 60 time release twice a day. 30 milligrams immediate release 4 times a day. I'm going to take one right now. I don't know if you believe me or not, but it says 54 and then 262 underneath with the straight line across the back. That is morphine sulfate, folks. In 20 minutes, it should make me feel something. I used to feel when I had bad teeth, dentures now. When I had bad teeth, I had bad abscesses, and I couldn't afford to go to the dentist. I just pull some of the teeth myself, just, and I was always taking antibiotics, and I could take a 5 milligram hydrocodone, and it would both kill the pain of the toothache, but I would feel loopy. You know that little feeling you get that goes, woo, where you get a little buzz from taking a hydrocodone? I don't feel that anymore. And I'm taking morphine, quetiapine, brand name Seroquel, look it up. It's an antidepressant, and it helps me go to sleep. Plus, I'm taking 50 milligrams of amitriptyline. So I'm taking 50 amitriptyline, a 30 morphine, and 200 milligram Seroquel to go to bed. And I have some diazepam to use during the day with an extra morphine that I just took, because I took my last one 4 hours ago when I woke up. 4 o'clock, 5 hours ago. It's 9:03 here. Let me get right into some business here. Let's start in things. I get drugs.com. I signed up for their newsletter. I get everything. I get recall notices. They tell you, they send me this one. This is clarithromycin. Where's my email? There's my email. See, FDA MedWatch alert. Clarithromycin. Potentially increased risk of heart problems or death in patients with heart disease. If you go back to my videos, you will find a lot of drugs that I've gone over the side effects of. Now, today, this was Kismet. I found drugs.com gave me an FDA alert on kratom. Right here. Kratom containing powdered products by PDX Aromatics. Recall of potential contamination with salmonella. So, pot has this cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. It's from a neem oil, a fertilizer that some growers use. And that's what causes that cannabis hyperemesis. Well, this is a potential risk of salmonella. That's dangerous, my friends. You have to go to the hospital right away if you get salmonella poisoning, because you need heavy antibiotics and a medical team to watch over you. Salmonella is not good. So, and these are PDX aromatics. What else was it? Oh yeah. Oh, wait for the page to load. Okay, PDX aromatics of Portland, Oregon, doing business as Kraken Kratom. Can you all see that? Kraken, Kraken. Yeah, Kraken Kratom, and Phytoextractum, and Sol Speciosa. Those are the businesses that has initiated a recall of certain kratom-containing powder products because it has the potential to be contaminated with salmonella. So, you kratom users out there, be careful. Now, as far as kratom, I personally wouldn't use it because I'm on so much morphine. And because I'm on so much morphine, and other people are getting very good pain relief on small doses, well, they get the same pain relief on a small dose of morphine. So I know that if I'm having to take this much morphine now, I would have to be taking that much kratom. So, I'd probably be drinking one of these an hour to keep my pain levels in check. Because remember, 120 milligrams of my morphine is time release over a 24-hour period. 2 pills over 24 hours. Ow. I have to be careful. I actually use a straw most of the time because I can't tilt my head back. So, basically, I've introduced myself a little bit. I try to help entertain people. And I do the show and tells, like, yeah, I showed you that stuff. This is while I've been sleeping. Heating pad. It's a perfect wrap right there, and I sleep on it. Here's the good switch. If you get too hot, you let go. So it's not like those old heating pads that had low, medium, and high. The one my mom had, even on low, it burned me. Burned. And because I've got this numbness, Debbie, I have to watch out how long I can wear that. Because I got first-degree burns a couple weeks ago. First-degree burns from the heating pad. I wouldn't let go. And I didn't feel it. Because I had it pressed here. I didn't feel that much heat here. It wasn't touching my skin. I had it pressed down on this, and that's what burned me. So, if you can, you want to get a heating pad that's got the dead man switch. That's what it's called. A dead man would let it go. So it's a dead man switch. Get that with your heating pad. And get one that wraps around the neck if you have cervical problems. Trust me. I have a very, very thick memory foam pillow that, you got squeeze and it comes right. I wear that in the car. And I'm usually on the dashboard, and I've got the handle next to the door here. That's the way I have to ride in a car. And I have to wear my patch to go into town. Doctor's visits, dispensary trips, cash my disability check. Those are the only times I leave my house. I'm sitting in the middle of 4.3 acres, nothing but mesquite trees around me, and I can just barely see the roofs of my neighbors. I love it. I love the seclusion, and I love the desert. It's great out here in Arizona. I invite any of my Facebook friends, if you want to come to Arizona, you have a room to stay in. I'm welcome in open arms for everybody. Sorry, I have to medicate. My dispensary just started carrying these. Have you ever heard of you ever heard of Thai stick? Well, that's what this is like. Only instead of being wrapped with cannabis leaves, it's wrapped in a palm leaf. So they call it a palm stick. And what it is it's a very good potent bud, and that bud has been soaked in thick. I got some here to show you. Very thick THC oil. It's this stuff. I don't know if you can tell. This stuff I can sit it here and it would take all day for it to seep down here. And what they do is they soak the bud in that stuff, and then they roll it in the keef powder, you know, the very fine leftover powder after you've ground your stuff. Just a little thing, $22, and I've been hitting on it. I haven't done but half of it in a week and a half, because I have so many different things. See, I have cherry, and I also have an unopened bag of lemon, and they are cannabis candies. I need one. So I've got cannabis out the ass, and I hope that shows people what it is like to be in this body, and hopefully give you some understanding into why I have become such an advocate and activist for cannabis that, you know, I will go to, like, there's no tomorrow until all 50 states have at least medical. Okay? I have a list of 100 and more diseases and syndromes and disorders. Give you a little taste. Where are we? Listen to this. And this is why I compare it to Kratom. Kratom can't do all this. It's very limited. Kratom treats fatigue and low energy, anxiety and stress, impaired cognition, in other words, it helps you think clearer, treatment of chronic pains, insomnia, opiate addiction recovery, because it's an alkaloid that reacts on your opiate center. That's what kratom does. It acts like opium, morphine, OxyContin, etc. So opiate addiction recovery. And I think any other type of recovery too. It might just help you with cigarettes. It might help you with alcohol. It just hasn't been tested that we know of. It boosts your immunity. Sexual enhancement for those of you who can still do it. Cardiac health. And diabetes support. Now, cannabis, cannabinoids, and terpenes do all that and more. And I talk about, just yesterday I woke up at 5:30, saw the wife off to work, came out here, didn't take my morning I didn't take my morning pills until 1:30 p.m. Cancer treatment. There we go. Cannabis kills cancer. So that's why I'm not saying I'm not for kratom, but I just don't think it would work for me because I have too many things. I'd have to use so much of it. It would probably cost me a lot. And then I have to make it and process it. I get my stuff in these little hermetically sealed bags with little humidity envelopes that keep things moist. It keeps the buds moist for months. And, I grind them up. They even have topicals. I've got one that I used. This one here is, that's the natural. It's very thick and I have to use my fingernail to get it out. And I put it on like this and rub it in. Well, in fact, I'll put some on, but instead of using the natural, they have one that's made with sage. Now this contains beeswax, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, cannabis oil, and sage. And it smells great. I don't know if you've ever been to an Indian smoking ceremony, but they burn sage for certain ceremonies. Pardon me while I rub this on. It does get the pain that I have right here. This much of my trapezius muscle is in constant pain. It just won't stop. How long? Over 8, maybe 10 years. I'm a wreck. Physically, I'm in my 80s. Chronologically, I'm 57 in April. I'm almost 57 years old. And my grandfather at 60 was more bouncy and could get around better than I can now. My poor wife, she has to do the job. I get disability, but half that goes to the dispensary. Now, I gave you what kratom does. And given that each of those items, there's different things to it. But cannabinoids, there's multiple ones. Okay, you're just getting the mitragynine, however it's pronounced. You're getting that. Your cannabis contains other cannabinoids than THC and CBD. It's not all getting high with the indica and getting relaxed and uplifted at the same time with the sativa. Okay? It's about the other cannabinoids too. Because not just the THC and CBD kill pain. The CBC and CBG, I believe, are the two of the others that help kill pain. And all cannabinoids attach to our immune system. That's where all of our cannabinoid 2 receptors are, is our immune system, which is everywhere. Anywhere you can get a cut and it festers, that's your immune system is what makes pus and the white blood cells to clear everything out, okay? That's how it works. That's gross, but it's medically how it works. Cannabinoids go throughout our body, and our body is made to use these because we have a system called the endocannabinoid system. And that, my friends, is the mother of all. Okay? And whole plant cannabis only. Single molecule pharmaceuticals like Marinol and Sativex are worthless. They do 1 to 3 things. Okay, nausea, vomiting, pain relief. That's it. But there's so many other cannabinoids and stuff in the whole plant. The buds, the whole plant cannabis. Not the seeds. The seeds contain no cannabinoids. You can't smoke them and get high. You get a headache. I'll tell you. I tried to smoke seeds when I was back in preteen. Oh yeah, well, what do we got? We got a bag of stems and seeds and probably got high because it made us sick. But if everybody would just get past the fact that THC reacts on people and makes them high. Not me. I wish I could get high. I can't. I can't get high like I did. And like I told you, all these pains that have just piled on me in the years. But I have gone over and I have learned all these facts for cannabis. So, just a short list of a few of the diseases that are cured, maintained, or even reversed by cannabis use. Whole plant cannabis. All cannabinoids working together, synchronicity, and entourage effect. Now, alphabetical order. Acquired hypothyroidism. Acute gastritis. Agoraphobia, fear of heights. AIDS and related illnesses. And there's hundreds of illnesses that ride the back of AIDS when you've got it. Alcohol abuse. All drugs. Alcoholism. alopecia areata. That's hair loss. Cannabis helps Alzheimer's disease. That's a big one that they've been studying now because it got out. The word got out. And we finally made enough people here that they're accepting more and more of these clinical trials that have already been done. And because we're got to get past it. They say we need more clinical trials. There's 14,000 clinical trials. The FDA is putting drugs onto TV on the basis sometimes of one clinical trial only. And I have been told by people, and I experienced it myself, in trying to make money in a clinic for my chronic bronchitis, COPD, and asthma. Which, by the way, cannabis cured. Smoking cannabis cured COPD, asthma, and bronchitis. I'm working on emphysema. It's almost gone. I beat Hep C. That's why I say I'm the guinea pig here. I got Hep C. This is last year in January. So, I got some Rick Simpson oil, lots of extra buds, and a lot of extra concentrates. And I was just boom, 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 smoking as much as I could, taking as much of the concentrates, eating as many brownies as I could. And the Rick Simpson oil on I'd put a little drop, just a right sized drop of Rick Simpson oil. I cured Hep C. Because they called me up and said, we want to get the genotype. So I went in for the genotype. After 3 months, I was clear. I was clean. No Hep C left. They could tell where it was, but it was no longer viable. It's dead. And I'm probably totally healed by now. Cannabis helps me. It helps my bones. It helps slow down the accretion, the growth. And it helps to strengthen the bone that is already there. You know, it doesn't strengthen the growths because they're not natural. Your body does lots of fun things. It's great. Medicine's fun. Let me get back to my list. Alzheimer's disease. And like I said, that's a big thing. It can reverse it. If a person's not too far gone, they can recover all the memories they lost, including breakfast yesterday, because that's one of the big things with Alzheimer's, is that short-term memory. Okay? They could probably recite presidential addresses from the 1930s, okay? But they can't remember what they had for breakfast. Alzheimer's, cannabis. Amphetamine dependency. Again, dependencies. Amyloidosis. Lou Gehrig's disease. Angina pectoris. You know what that is? It's a heart attack. People say it makes your heart race. No. What makes your heart race is you. Cannabis does not touch the part of the brain responsible for heart rate and breathing. So, if your heart's fluttering, it's you are too high. You gotta relax. Breathe. Trust me. It works. I've been there before. I gotten so high that I was like, oh, wow. I had to, it's like, whoa, stop the world, man. It's spinning too fast. Anorexia. And of course, it gives you the munchies. But you know, it can also work in the opposite direction. If you're prone to be fat, cannabis can help make you thin, even with the munchies, because of the way it helps boost your metabolism. Anorexia nervosa. Anxiety disorders. Any chronic medical symptom that limits major life activities. That's my favorite one. ACM SLMA. Doesn't sound like anything catchy. Arteriosclerotic heart disease. It cleans your veins out, people. It cleans your blood system. It goes to your liver. Your liver takes in the cannabinoids it wants and needs and says, I want that. Okay? And wherever it goes first in your system, your body's going to take it and put it where it needs it. Your bodies are smart like that. Our bodies are smarter than the doctors who treat us. And smarter than us. Okay? But you get to learn to know your body. I have a thing called pain sweat. It's a particular odor only in my pits when I'm in a lot of pain. And my pits break out in a sweat. Well, you have two kinds of glands, apocrine and eccrine. I think the eccrine glands are in your underarms only, and the apocrine are all over. And that's why your pits smell different than your regular sweat. You know, like butt sweat or whatever. But I get this pain sweat. It smells like rotten onions. Truth. I use it, alcohol pad. It kills the stink. It's pain sweat. If you go through intractable pain, you'll know what I'm talking about. I hope it helps you. I hope whatever I'm saying here helps people. That's what I'm trying to do. And like I said, I'm in the middle of a flare. It's been 20 minutes. Morphine working on me. Doesn't appear to be so. Even the pot candy, the tea I just finished. I actually should put the candy down so I can talk better. Pardon me. Where was I? Anorexia. Ah, yes, any chronic medical symptom that limits major life activities. That's all 8 of my diseases. And all attendant symptoms of my diseases. The fibromyalgia has 111 or more symptoms and signs. 111. And I'm in the 10% of men who get it. 10% of fibromyalgics are men. 90% are women. Morgan Freeman has it. And Tommy Chong, twice he had cancer. The first time was something that he cured with his own oil that he made, or super thick Rick Simpson oil type. Cured his own cancer. Last thing he had just a few years ago was prostate cancer. Sorry, down there somewhere. But he had prostate cancer. He didn't use cannabis. He used hemp CBD in suppositories. Yes. Because that's where your prostate is. The hemp goes right to it, and your body takes it. Why? Because it has cannabinoid 2 receptors on your immune system around your prostate. So your prostate draws the CBD in. And if you put it in as a suppository, it gets there just as quick and better, quicker and better than chemotherapy. Because chemo, they're just pumping it in your arm because it goes everywhere. It's systemic. Well, cannabis is systemic also, as in going all throughout the body. But THC only affects the THC receptor. It works on other things along the immune system with the other cannabinoids. THC is an adjunct to all the other cannabinoids. When it comes to CBD, they're a balance. Higher THC, there'll be lower CBD. That's an indica. And then indica dominant strains, hybrids, and then sativa dominant, and then sativas. High CBD, low THC. Because I could sit here and smoke up my THC and say I got a buzz, and then I went and got my hemp oil and took a dropper of hemp oil. It'll kill my buzz. That's what it does. So anytime, if you're taking hemp oil at the same time as you're medicating with pot, if you need the pain killing and the euphoria, I don't know if there's a need for the euphoria, but it's a just happy side effect as far as I'm concerned. But you want whole plant cannabis, I keep getting off, and here we go. Let's go back. Arteriosclerotic heart disease, arthritis, both osteo and the other one, arthropathy, which is gout, Asperger's, the one where people with the I don't know, asthma. Like I said, I was on albuterol for 5 years. After I went to the morphine and pot, it was 6 months before I noticed I didn't use my inhaler. It had been sitting there for 6 months. My lamp on the base of my lamp has all these nooks and crannies, and I've got all kinds of stuff in it. So it was back on the back side with some pens around it. So I forgot about it. And I didn't need it. Like I said about clinical trials, I got off track there and went around and around. Let me get back to that. I was talking about the clinical trials. I had COPD and asthma, and I signed up for a clinical trial. And they sit there for a day, and they question you a lot. And somehow out of their questions, they come up with a little thing, and they they look at the numbers, and they judge you as not being a good enough subject to help get these medication approved. See, the centers that do clinical trials are sometimes outside companies, and they don't get bonuses and they don't make money unless they get the drug approved. They put forth their effort into getting this drug tested on people. So they've got money backing them, pushing them forward, which means cutting corners. That's what they do. That's what happens. So, anyway, the one clinical trial, I had another friend. She did all the questions right. I blew in their thing and did all the breathing things. And they said I'd be a good subject until they ran me through the computer, they said. Which means the computer takes all of your answers and formulates a number for them as a percentage on how likely am I to help get that medicine approved. Because that's what they want, FDA approval. And they can't get it without getting it done with the clinical trials. And it's all about money, money, money. Cannabis. If people would get over it and we'd have the price drop. Because I'm paying $3.25 an ounce. I'd love to pay $200. And if we can get more and more dispensaries open, more and more states, and interstate carrying, okay, reciprocity. Let's put every medical marijuana program under Arizona, for example, because Arizona takes in a lot of disorders. I'm just on chronic pain syndrome, but that's all it took. And that's it. So, ADD and ADHD. Why? ADD and ADHD are just sort of in the vein of epileptic shocks. And what they do is something goes haywire in their brain, and they hyperactive. They get that way. One of my cousins was like that, and they figured it out. It came from a preservative in potato chips. He'd always eat these chips, and then he'd start bouncing off the walls. They finally figured it out. But ADD and ADHD are helped by cannabis. And most of these are also helped by hemp oil, CBD, high CBD hemp oil. Autoimmune diseases, back pain. See, right there, all those were A's. Just the A's. Now in the B's. Bell's palsy, bipolar, malignant brain tumor. See why I'm on the side of cannabis more? Kratom is great. Okay. for a very limited amount of things. That's why I say it's okay, Edie. Use the pain group. You know, plants, not pills. I don't mind that. Tag and whatever. But I want to thank Charles and Edie both. I was supposed to open with that. I didn't read my notes. Like I said, this fibro flare makes you. But I want to thank Edie Jones and Charles McMullen, especially, for keeping my groups going. Or they keep Rick's medical marijuana group going, and I'll sign in once a day and I'll share things. You know, I'll share to all my other pages and other pages that'll get to people. I've got like almost like 2,000 hookups all around with all different groups. So I got a pretty good spread. Josh and Carla. Okay, well, if you accept my friend request, you can join the group. Yeah, people wanted to join my group. People that want to join Rick's medical marijuana group, I'd love to have you. You must be on my friends list. I am sorry, but that's a standalone, one big main rule that I will not deviate from. Is you have to be a friend of Rick. Me. I've had some people call me a tyrant, but those people are usually the ones that are gonna give me problems down the road. And believe me, I've had so many people trying to get on my groups and sell. One guy actually did get on. He got on, he made a post, and my phone buzzed with a message. Checked the message, and it was like, Rick, check the group. Now, I went there and saw this guy was selling. Boom, I deleted his post, deleted him, and blocked him. I will not stand for illegal crap in any of my groups. And I have Rick's Medical Marijuana Group, Cannabis Education for Everyone, Poetry for Everyone, Patriot Up America for Donald Trump. I stand by my elected president, whoever he may be. Cannabis Education, Rick's Medical Marijuana, Rick's Pain Group. I have a secret group of just a few close friends. That's takes you a while to get in there. Let's put it that way. But, give me feedback. People who have watched this, please understand that, yes, I'm a little flighty, but it's because of this chronic pain and this exhaustion. I'm cripplingly exhausted feeling right now. I could lay down and be out in a heartbeat. But I suffer while I wake up balled up sometimes. And then my hands hurt all night because because I'm in such pain, I curl up in a ball. That's how bad my pain is. In fact, by the number scale, out of 10 out of 10 pain, which I've been there once. Hold on. Pause. Sorry, I had to step away for a minute there. But give me feedback. I want to know where this is going. I've had a few people watch and have mentioned and commented on YouTube. Not many, but I'm still gathering subscribers. I've only got like 10 or so. In fact, Mary, is it? Just Mary? Hi, Mary. That just signed up to watch mine this morning. But I try to get the word out about whole plant cannabis. And I'll let Rick's Pain Group talk about Kratom. But Kratom doesn't belong on cannabis education. So, let's try to keep that way. That's why I'm very strong on friending. I want everybody to feel safe. And that's just it. As people have told me that they thank me for giving them a safe place. Because whatever happens, even if it's a public group, okay, the public will only get there if you let them by sharing things. Then they'll find you by tracing you back to where you shared it from. That's how Facebook works. It's easy. People get, people find you through groups and stuff. They see you're in a group. So I could go on with the bees, and I could go on for the whole rest of this page. All these, separated by these lines, all those diseases, disorders, and syndromes, fixed by whole plant cannabis. And with medical marijuana programs in place for everybody to medicate freely, okay? Just even if it's recreational. It should be. Then people can go in and buy as much as they need for medicine. Well, in Arizona, they were going to make it 1 ounce a month for recreational. You could only buy an ounce a month, or so much concentrate that equals an ounce of weed. Like so many grams of hash equals an ounce of bud. And the same thing with tinctures. You might only, if you can get 1 ounce a month, you might only be able to get 2 bottles of tincture and no buds and nothing else. No food, not even a brownie. Because even a brownie counts as so much buds. So that's the way medical marijuana programs work. And in Arizona, I'm allowed 5 ounces a month, split in 2-week intervals, 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks. I've only hit the limit once and had to put something back. But I was just over the line because I was on the road myself still. I was still driving on OxyContin and psych meds. Yes, not a good thing. Not a good thing. But that 10-10 pain I talked about. Hello. Hi, you're a recorded message. I hate those. If I can block them. And then sometimes I actually have to clean out my blocked list because I get so many of these pre-recorded things where you go, hello? Hi, this is Jane with... But I keep my phone all the time because the wife wants to get a hold of me or something, But anyway, pain. I was at 10-10 pain when I quit. Well, when I had my incident driving and had to go off OxyContin and psych meds. And I dropped my psychiatrist because I didn't need her anymore. I had my disability. So I didn't need the psychiatrist to back up my disability for the PTSD, which is what they made me do. So the psych meds and everything had me in a 180. I was not personable. I was an asshole and I was drinking on top of it. Once I switched to morphine and cannabis, that monkey, which was a gorilla, is gone. And like I said, I was in pain yesterday, but I completely forgot my morphine. I took some pot. It helped. And then I slept through the pain. I know I did. I know I slept through the pain because my hands were sore as hell last night. And it took me half the night to get my hands open. And it's taken me most of the morning to get to go. I can just go like that. That's why I'm trying to move them all the time. Get my guitar out in a little bit. But I wanted to show, a little show and tell. And a little information about me. Because if you're going to look at my YouTube channel, I try to be entertaining. I try to do show and tells, which I hope I showed you all enough today. The patch, making concentrate, making the tincture called Green Dragon, tea bags, vapes. I like the O pen. It says O pen, vape.com. You get refills. Each little refill screws on. And each one lasts me a month. I have like 6 of them. And they're not harsh, and you can smoke them in public. You can hide. It doesn't smell like pot. Not quite like cigarettes, but it doesn't smell like pot. and it's very mild. Very little smoke. Which, as we all know, if you're smoking weed in public, you've got a big signature, a big cloud, okay? You don't with this. I put this in my pocket with my stylus pen with my phone. It's every time I have to leave the house with my flannel shirt, these two with my phone in there. I've got a black battery. These are supposed to last, the battery's supposed to last 18 months. This black one's 3 years old. This one is now 2 years old. And I have a spare that I bought with this one that's 2 years old. So I don't have to worry about them going out. And they screw into USB port. They're on a little USB thing. You screw it on, plug it into your computer, wherever. It's great. What to do when you first get your medical marijuana card? How many people would like to see a video on that? Tell me what you'd like to hear in a video of that vein. Okay. What do you want to know to do when you go to your first, when you go to your first dispensary? What's going to happen? I can tell you how Arizona happened, but all states are going to be different. Like some states are calling CBD hemp a medical marijuana program, and marijuana is not allowed. It's not a medical marijuana program. It's a CBD hemp. Hemp has 0.01 THC. I take 30% THC. Okay? That's a difference of thousands, 10,000s, 3,000s, whatever. Okay? There's just no psychoactivity in hemp. And there is no reason to ban it or burn it like the DEA does, except for industry. The industrial applications for hemp run into the 50,000s. 50,000 recorded industrial applications. From shampoo and bath products to biodiesels, either ethanol or methanol. And their biodiesel alone is safer than table salt. I don't know what it tastes like or nothing, and what it does to you, but it's safer than table salt. Okay, just think about that. You would think that table salt is the safest thing in the world unless you have high blood pressure and heart problems. Okay? But no, if you're wanting to ladle on the salt, think of that. You can take some biodiesel from cannabis and season your food with it, maybe, if it tastes good. Who knows? But they can make it. Paints, shellacs, varnishes. Imagine that. All from the hemp stalk and hemp seeds. And hemp seeds are food. They're the perfect balance of omega-3s and 6s. And they contain gamma-linolenic acid, which is very, very rare and very, very good for our bodies. So hemp milk, hemp seeds with a slightly nutty flavor. You can put them on salads. You can put it in a smoothie. Okay, we have hemp milk, oat milk, almond milk, because I don't do cow milk, but I can do cheese. But those milks I can have cereal. I couldn't have cereal for a long time because I didn't like soy. Yeah. But almond milk is great. And I've discovered oat and hemp too. And me and Deb try to stay as healthy as possible. And I need to, because I have all these problems, all this pain. Okay? I have to watch what I eat. I love hot, spicy foods, but some things actually inflame me when I'm in a flare. And it's a balance of harmony. And, I try to stay harmoniously balanced. So, anyway, when you first get your pot card, what's going to happen? Or what may happen? What things you want to look for? How do you want to get started? What do you want to buy to try the first time? Don't get talked into a dabbing rig with a butane torch and all this shit that you have to do. Okay? You spend $1,000 before you get to smoke the thing. No, for $7 you can buy a joint. They'll have a pre-rolled joint there. Sativa or indica or hybrid. And they go in little bottles. Where's my little bottles? curious. I don't know where it went. But anyway, tell me what you would like. I will talk about whatever. I'll take your notes. I'll do the research. That's what I do. Chronic pain, cannabis, whole plant cannabis only, medical marijuana, what happens when you get your card, anything you want to know, I'll do the research. I like doing this. Right now, like I said, I'm going all over the place because I'm out of it. And see, even the morphine hasn't helped yet. It's not making me any more forgetful. But I am going to go have a cigarette here. So, I want to say peace out. E.D. Charles, thank you. Oklahoma Sooners. E.D. asked me to shout out to the Sooners. I hope your bill gets passed in June. Is it June 15th I just saw this morning? Is when you're due to vote. They're due to vote on the state House bill. The state question's already over. Now it's this House HB 2520 something. I just looked at it. I just breezed by it. But I need topics. I'm running out of things that I can find. I'm just putting in marijuana and going to websites and just reading everything that's there and seeing what I can do that's new. Because I can sit here and go over this list and this whole book, this whole notebook, that's all about cannabis, people. This is all stuff I have researched. And I can sit there and go right from page 1. I can go over all the individual cannabinoids, CBD, THC, CBD, CBG, CBN, THCV, Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 12, all kinds of numbers. And if we can just get the lawmakers, to get off their duffs, share this to them. Here, listen to it from a person with 5 years of experience, intensive daily experience of being home every day, smoking weed, and taking morphine, and living at least some quality of life. If I did not use morphine and cannabis, I would have zero quality of life. I would be in such pain. I'd be crying all the time. Trust me, I've been there. I spent a week there after I was off the OxyContin. I wasn't going through withdrawals. I was in pain because the withdrawal period was over. That's how my doctor looked at me and said, holy shit, here's some morphine and let's try pot too. Because pot had just recently come out in Arizona. He put me down for chronic pain. Boom. And I've been to a total of 5 dispensaries. One there, 2. Now there's 2 that are really close to me, but one will only go to in an emergency. Botanica. They're the ones that put these humid packs, that 62% humidity. And they put them in the bags like this. And you can zip close it. It gives you a little strain name there. This is White Lightning. That's proper packaging. Now, if you go to dispensaries, my other one, they give you a bottle. And they put the bottle on a scale, and they do the tare, and then they open up a jar full of buds, and they take buds out, and they put it in until you fill up however many grams you get. This jar is open. Every time you open that jar, the weed is getting dried out. And your THC is turning into CBN, and it's going to be less euphoric. Still good for pain, but you're not going to get high. Because the THC will, that's called decarboxylate. Is they lay it out in sheets and covered. The ends are open, but all the moisture tries to rise, okay? So they just keep the ends open to let it breathe, and it decarbs it, and that's what takes bright purple, bright blue buds and turns them green. And that's when they're smokable. But if you keep letting them get dried out, THC turns into CBN, and you'll get less of a buzz. So try to avoid dispensaries like that, and go to one that gives you bags. Because if they take their care, well, let's put it this way: Botanica gets my everything. There it is. This is their decal. It's individual letters. Press it on and peel the thing off. I love them. One of the managers, Aaron Pollinger. Hi, Aaron. I'll hashtag Botanica because I'm talking Botanica. Anytime you go to Tucson, if you can get medical marijuana in Arizona, Botanica is the place to be. They are bright, cheery, happy employees. All of them. And it's not just because they're in the environment. Because let me tell you, I walked in there, I've stood outside and gotten a contact high. Going, whoa, damn, they must have just got a new harvest in. And you go inside and it's just like, wow, smells so awesome. Weed is great. And I'm not talking about as a getting high, because I don't. And that's where I'm sitting here teaching people that very fact, is that cannabis attenuates pain, attenuates addictions, and it gives you a quality of life. Where if I was on the morphine, I would just be on the morphine and I'd probably have OIC. I had it with the OxyContin. Bad. Hard bricks. OIC. That's what the OxyContin did to me. Withdrawals, everything turned to water. But I went to my doctor after I was cleaned off, and it was 10, and he saw me in 10-10 pain, wrapped up in blankets, shivering, my wife doing all the talking. That was when I stopped driving. And it got bad. And so, tell me, what can I do to make the experience better? I will try to keep to my notes. I do sidetrack myself, but I always try to get back on track. And I just do it because I want to entertain as well as teach. Okay? I don't want to sit here and drone on like a teacher. Like, no, this is how everything does. This cannabinoids is the proper pronunciation now, gentlemen and ladies. I don't want that. I want to be happy. I want to be upbeat. I'm exhausted, and I'm at an hour and 13 minutes. I hope you learned something. I hope it's worth sharing. I hope this is worth sharing. And go to my last videos. On my last 10 alone, I made specifically addressing lawmakers. And I hashtagged them to try to get the message to them, to listen to the facts and listen to the reasons why we need medical marijuana in every state. Everybody needs to be able to medicate because it's the safest, easiest pleasure as well as healing. You can't beat that, okay? And it's not alcohol. You don't get a hangover. You get up the next morning and go, man, I'd love to smoke a joint right now. Instead of you wake up in the morning going, oh, and the only thing that'll work is drinking another beer. Might as well get started. And then spending your all night, bleh. No. Smoke. We need to legalize. We need help to legalize. Share my videos to help us legalize. Pick and choose my videos. You got 131 now as of today. When you see this. 131 videos, almost 200 to 300 hours. And I do it for everybody. I've got my pills, I've got my pipes, I've got my weed, and I've got my Orange Crush REM. Remember that song? If you do, you're old. But that's it. I try to teach and help help out in activism to get the people get the people that matter. Get this video and all my other videos to the people in the high places that really matter, because I talk about facts that I find on the internet. And I tell you when it's supposition, and I'll tell you when it's facts. I'll tell you when it's my opinion. Like my opinions on Kratom. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. But I want people to get a better understanding of it, because that, to just understand, will help legalize. And that helps people. Right now, we're being force-fed biologic drugs from plant and animal DNA with all these weird names for rivaroxaban, humira lyrica, all that shit. And they're all shit. The biologics I tried 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3. First dose, went to bed, stabbed in the gut, vomit, blood. Second pill, first dose, first night, same thing. Third pill, same thing. I went to the doctor and said, I want opiates. I was in so much pain that I was mad to him, but he understood it. It was pain mad. Because I apologized afterwards. I said, I'm sorry, doc. I just And my wife had to drive me around because I could not focus to drive. And I did not feel safe. Okay, and that's where I am today. Happily getting through opiates therapy. I have no side effects of the morphine. And it's all because of the cannabis. Working in the entourage effect. Whole plant cannabis only. Okay? So, help me out. Give me some direction. And then I'll wander less. You know, I'll write something out script-wise. Because I like to aggrandize and, you know, I end up going off on tangent and, you know, dropping one subject, going to another. But if you really want something, I will give it to you straight out. I will write down exactly word for word what I'm going to say. I'd be happy to. Because I need something to do. I'm sitting here at the end of a dead-end road. I've got a full notebook here. I've got a half a notebook here. Not quite half. More of a quarter. But I like to have something to do. And TV, I've seen the CSI episodes too many times, and I'm glad they're changing up and putting new shows on. But anyway, it helps me to get by, to do these videos. And hopefully I'm helping people understand, and I hope I'm entertaining. You know, I'm not going to do a song or dance, but maybe I'll bring out my guitar and put the amplifier on and go. No, I don't always play like that. I like Rush. They're the guys. But, once again, Rick Huffman, guinea pig experiment for opiates therapy with cannabis. Okay, a sufferer of 7 chronic pain conditions. Okay, 90 years old instead of going on 60. Okay, I just feel like crap unless I'm smoking weed and taking my morphine. That's the only thing that brings me to a normal level. As the pain goes, 10-10 with no drugs. 7 to a 6 with morphine. 5-4-3. 3 is my bottom. That's it. And it's usually 3-4 is the top I get. A mixture of 3-4. Look those up on the comparative or subjective pain scales. And you'd maybe understand a little what this tingling is that's going on. It's driving me mad, but I can't itch it because I'll scratch myself raw. But there's so many things that cannabis helps. And it's helping me get by and have a quality of life. And like I said, any symptom, syndrome, disease, disorder that may limit major life experiences, cannabis fixes it. And it does so safely, because in 10,000 years of known use, nobody has ever died. Only getting shot up by the cartels, or a bale falls on you and you smother yourself or something, or your killer's name is marijuana, Mary Jane. Okay? Marijuana is safe. The shit they're pushing on TV with very few clinical trials, and within a year, most of them get recalled by the same FDA that approved them. Think about that. Isn't that the definition of hypocrisy? It is in my book. That's hypocrites. They're hypocrites to be doing that. So, tell me what I can do to help entertain and teach. Or educate. Not teaching. I don't want to be a teacher. But I want to help people understand how safe and secure cannabis is. I couldn't overdose if I tried. I couldn't eat enough brownies. Nobody could. You can't overdose on weed. And you can't get too high. Your brain has a switch that says, no, we're off, we're done. This is as high as you're going to go. Cloud 9, don't go for, there's no Cloud 10. Your Cloud 9 is where you're going to be. That's it. So, I hope I entertained, I hope I taught, and please, help me out. Give me topics, give me shares. Send me around the country. Send me around the world. Send me to the Queen. I'll tell the Queen, hey, you're driving on the wrong side of the road. Get on the right side of the road and start allowing your people to grow and smoke cannabis. Because it would save so many lives. I'll go over just this one quick fact. 70% of cancer patients who go through chemo and radiation die. 70% of cancer patients who used cannabinoids lived. 70% dead, 70% lived. Should there even be a question of which one shall we pick? No. And the cancer industry knows this. And the 30% that live have 10 to 15 years before the cancer and chemo resurge, because they never leave your body unless you clean yourself out with cannabinoids. That's what cannabis is good for. Fixing these biological drugs and taking care of the original problem you took the biologic for. So, that's enough for a rant there. But if you give me something to rant about, by God, I can rant. Okay? So, peace, love, truth, and happiness, folks. Hope everybody takes care. Hope you see my videos. Hope you've watched it all the way through. Share it. Tag people. Tag state representatives and say, this is what we need to do. We need to get legal weed because this is how people get treated. That's what I am. I'm the guinea pig. I'm here teaching everybody how opiates and cannabis go together without being a space case. My IQ has gone up. Every time I check my IQ, every time I've checked it, it's gone up repeatedly, including the last 5 years. I gained almost 17 points in 5 years of smoking weed every day. You can't argue with that. And they tell you it harms the teen mind. No, that's just more bullshit, because it didn't hurt my mind, and I smoked a lot in school from the age of 8. And I smoked all the way through to 18, went in the Army. Guess what? Everybody was smoking. So I kept smoking. So I've basically smoked constantly since I was 8 years old. 48 years. Okay? And I know pot, and I know what it does for me now that I have these painful conditions where the pot doesn't get me high, and I'm just using it to help my pain levels drop. You know, if it's not going to get me high, at least bring down the pain. And that's what it does. And that's where I plead with people to please help repeal the idiotic prohibition of marijuana, cannabis. Free cannabis from the prison of ignorance. Peace out.